Grady, producer and director of the independent documentary film Man Up, and I am so excited because we are on a 10-city tour, and this is our 5th city. Newark, New Jersey is our 5th city, and we are here at the Newark Museum, which is lovely. It's a beautiful museum, and I'm happy to be here.
Welcome, and welcome again. My name is Wanda Pendleton, and I'm Manager of Community Relations for the Newark Museum. I am thrilled and excited that we have the documentary Man Up that's produced by Tonia Grady. The Newark Museum is also a community partner with Newark Now.
I don't remember when my father left. I just know he left. I do remember wanting him to come back and ask my mother about him. My name is Marcus D. Harvey, and I grew up fatherless. This evening, you will be introduced to the lives of young people who, like myself, yearn for relationships with their fathers. It is our hope this evening will engage, enlighten, and empower each one of you to become a part of this movement as Man Up embarks on a 10-city tour around the country. As President Obama stated, any fool can have a child. That doesn't make you a father. It's the courage to raise a child that makes you a father and a man. Now I want to introduce you to Mr. LaVar Young, the director of Fathers Now.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank you guys for coming out tonight. This is definitely a long time coming. When Wendy White and Tonia Grady approached Newark Now and the Fatherhood Center about bringing the documentary to Newark, it was a no-brainer for us to agree to have it come. Unfortunately, in the line of work that we do at the Fatherhood Center, we meet far too many fathers from Newark and Essex County that don't have positive relationships with their children. So hopefully the documentary tonight will enlighten all of us, get us to start to think about some issues that are plaguing our community and come up with some solutions on how we can move forward to bring more children and their families and their fathers closer together. So again, thank you for coming. At this time, I want to introduce my boss, a guy that I always call for help and assistance and a mentor to me, Mr. Edgar Eisenreder, the president of Newark Now.
Thank you very much, LaVar, and thank you everybody for coming out tonight. The fatherhood issue has been something big, has been a big issue. Just to give you some history on how Newark Now came to bring the Newark Comprehensive Center for Fathers to Newark. Actually, it was a survey done in 2004, a grassroots survey, and we asked people to identify key problems within their neighborhoods and their community. And a lot of people talked about crime. They talked about issues, but some of the stuff written in there was also that one of the problems with crime is that when a guy comes out of jail, how can he provide for his family with the systems and different things of that nature, obstacles that they have. It's just not a black and white thing where males come out and they don't want to take care of their kids. It's really a whole, there's a lot of shades of gray.
Now I have the pleasure of introducing you to the director, producer of this powerful project, Ms. Tonia Grady.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I want to thank each and every every one of you guys for coming out to support this independent project. Hi, Alicia. This is very, very special to me. But before I even get started, we don't have a lot of time, we're behind schedule, but before we even start, I have to give praise to the Almighty. And y'all give him a hand. My God takes care of me, and he is the reason why I stand here today. He sustains me, he keeps me going, because this is real to me. This is a documentary. My story is not featured in the documentary, but I am living this. My daughter is growing up without her father in her life. So this is very real to me. So I really want to say thank you to a couple of people before I forget. I want to say thank you to Wendy White. Wendy, if you're here, please stand up. You're not Wendy. Wendy is the Man Up Media Relations Director, and she has been doing a marvelous job, and I thank her. She is the one who introduced me to LaVar Young, who's with Fathers Down. And I would have to say that that connection alone is the reason we're here in Newark. I met LaVar, and I showed him the film. He loved it. He said, "What can I do?" And he made it all happen. So LaVar, I just want to say thank you for being a man of your word. It's not often that you meet somebody who say they can do something and they actually can do it, you know, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But I do want to say thank you to a couple of people who helped this tour get started. Man Up is on a 10-city tour right now, and one of the people who is key for that, he's not here right now, his name is Kenneth Broswell. He has been instrumental in getting me next to the people in this fatherhood movement to kind of keep this project moving forward, so I thank him. Also, there's a brother in D.C. who keeps things lit up in D.C. for me, Franklin Malone, and I have to say his name, because if I don't, he'll be calling me up saying, "I saw the video and you ain't mentioned my name." So Frank, I said your name. Thank you very much. I think that if this film can reach enough people and the fathers could see themselves on film and they can see the faces of these little children who all they really want is the love of their fathers. That's all they want, and that's not too much to ask for. I don't think so. So I'm on the front lines, I'm moving and I'm marching, and there are a bunch of people ahead of me who have been in this fatherhood movement for a long time. I won't really say I'm a part of the fatherhood movement. I'm just a single mother who decided to do a documentary out of her own pocket and try to get some people together to come and watch this film and start discussing it and start figuring out ways how we can kind of snuff out this disease, because I think it's a disease, and I think it's really kind of taking our children away from us, because these kids are growing up and they have a void, and when you have a void, you fill it with something else. So they're going to jail. You got the girls who are falling in love with these guys that are not good enough for them because they don't have a father to give them that love and let them know that they're worthy of love. So it's just so many different layers to the subject, and the film hopefully will express some of what I'm getting at. That's why I call it an exploration. It's Man Up, the exploration of a fatherless nation, because I'm in search of answers. And all I'm doing as a producer and a director is presenting the stories as they're told to me. That's all I'm doing. I'm not being judgmental. I want to put all the stories out there. There are so many stories, and I'm just trying to put them out there. And for all of the people here who want to support independent film, please do, because we need the support. So many times you see, you know, a function like this, which I'm so grateful to Wanda Pendleton for having us here, but this is from connections, and we are blessed. But without the sponsors and without the, you know, community supporting us, I wouldn't be able to do this. I mean, I paid for the film out of my pocket, but I couldn't afford to do this.
Good evening. Now, I wasn't shy. I thought I was going to give remarks before the film, but certainly I can do it here. My name is Thabiti Boone. I've been involved in the fatherhood movement for 26 years. not from any program, not from any organization or institution. Back in 1984, at the age of 18, I became a single father. And my daughter's mother abandoned her. So what I decided to do was take my daughter with me to college and raise her. And as an athlete and law student, president of Black Student Union, I balanced all of that with braiding hair and changing diapers and being the kind of father that our society desires to have. And so also as a basketball star, I did something that was unheard of. Being drafted for the NBA and having to choose between a career in professional sports, because I do work with the New York Knicks as well, and also making a decision in the best interest to your child. So I gave up my NBA dreams for the sake of raising my daughter, because nothing should be more important than our children, especially if you're a father or a mother, in terms of producing these children so they not grow up fatherless or motherless.
We have one more panelist to introduce, Bill Stephany, who is the author of Be a Father to Your Child. If you want to come up and give a few brief remarks, please.
Thank you, Marcus. I'll be very short because we're running late and you'll hear me later. I want to welcome everybody to the screening of Man Up and the subsequent panel discussion of which I will be a part of afterwards. I want to thank Tonia for being incredible, for being a force of nature, literally, and putting everything together here at the Newark Museum. I want to thank the folks here at the Newark Museum, LaVar Young, who I've gotten to know over the course of the past year or two, who does incredible work with Newark Now. You know, I'm here because I believe that family, fatherhood, motherhood, effective family is the most important issue facing our community, facing our nation, bringing our families, our children, our mothers and fathers and grandparents, aunts and uncles all together. That's where it works, that the family is the vital organ of the body that we call our community. As we work hard and strong and stridently to put together our families, we'll reconnect our communities and our nation.
Home, being able to screen it really means you put your heart and soul into something. So let's hear it for Tonia Grady. This is such an important topic, and we're very pleased that it's being screened here in the Billy Johnson Auditorium for the first time in Newark in this inaugural screening. This is also the auditorium, as well as the auditorium, a few other spots in town where the Newark Black Film Festival will enter its 36th year this coming summer. And we certainly hope that Tonia Grady and this important film will be part of that too. So the circle will continue to close.
Let's give a round of applause to Erica Knowles from Newark Now.
Hello. Just want to give a round of applause and a big thank you to our sponsors for the evening. They are Fathers Now. Fathers Now helped bring this event to Newark with Ms. Tonia Grady, and the Newark Museum, of course, who has allowed us to use this lovely facility. Our PR sponsor, FemWorks, who helped get the word out as well. Our platinum sponsors, Eye Contact Vision Center and C&K Metals. And our gold sponsor, Against All Odds Foundation. We'd also like to thank Man Up's overall sponsors, National Fatherhood Initiative, the 100 Fathers Incorporated, Daddy's Home, Fathers Incorporated, and Tender Warrior Associations. And thank all of you for coming out to the event.
Mr. LaVar Young, would you come forward, please? Let's give him a round of applause. He's the director of Fathers Now.
Again, I just want to echo the words of everyone else. Thank you for coming out tonight. This is definitely a worthwhile occasion. I hope that it gets us to talking and thinking about fatherless homes, not only here in Newark, but all over our country. So again, thank you and enjoy the show.
And last but not least, the brain behind Man Up, the director and producer, Miss Tonia Grady.
Thank you, Marcus. Please give our host and moderator a hand. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. I'm going to make this short and sweet. First and foremost, I want to thank God. Let's give him a round of applause because I don't want to start crying, so I'm going to move on. Okay, real quick, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for coming out here. We are so thankful that you support this independent film. This is a true independent film. I am the producer and director. This film was done out of my own pocket. Thank you to my family who's here tonight. I appreciate you. Thank you to my cousin Deb, who's always there supporting me. I have to give you that, Deb, because everybody don't support me like you support me. So you get a special shout out. I love you. I love you. And there are a couple of other people, Kenneth Broswell, Thabiti Boone, Franklin Malone. There's some other people that I'm going to leave out right now. But I want to say I hope that you enjoy this film. We want to get it started because we're going to have an open panel discussion after this. I really hope you love this film. It's not where I want it to be, but it's getting there. So I'm going to keep making it better. And if you have stories, if you want to be a part of the documentary, approach me. I hope to do a documentary series. So this will continue on and on and on. And hopefully we'll get an investor or a sponsor that will help us put this film into theaters everywhere. So, okay, please turn off all your cell phones. Put them on vibrate and everything. We're going to watch the film, and after the film, we're going to have the open panel discussion. And since I'm here, sorry, Marcus, I'm going to go ahead and cue the film. So we can turn the lights down, cue the lights, and let's start the film. Thank you.
What did I do wrong to make my father leave?
I'm going to say a few words, but while I say a few words, the panelists can start taking their seat on the stage. I really need for you guys to give it up for God, because I have a full house and there's no other way to do this without God on your side. And just to look out and see all of these faces, people who come out to support me. I'm just a single mom who wanted to tell a story, and to see so many people in so many cities who are just so interested in this topic. And I didn't know at the time what I was getting myself into. And I really need y'all to feel me on this, because for me, it was just about my baby. It was really about my baby's pain and me trying to do something to ease her pain, to ease my pain. And God sent me on this path, and I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I didn't decide to you know, when I first got the idea that I was going to do a 10-city tour and I was going to do all this, I just really wanted to tell the stories. And this thing has grabbed a hold of me, and it moves me. This moves me so much. You have no idea. I have done a lot of things in my lifetime. I've produced for CNN. I've interviewed all kinds of celebrities, and I tell you here tonight, nothing serves my soul more than this. This is what I was meant to do. This is what I believe that I was meant to do, and I am happy that so many people appreciate the film. Did you like the film?
I'm going to introduce our panelists for the evening. We have Miss Tonia Grady, Mr. Charles Dixon from the University of Medicine and Dentistry Young Fathers Program, Mr. Bill Stephany, author of Be a Father to Your Child, and Mr. LaVar Young, Director of Fathers Now. So this is how we're going to run this discussion. Each panelist is going to respond to fatherlessness, the film, or whatever comes out of them, briefly. And then we're going to open it for discussion to you on the floor, and they may have questions for one another.
I'm just going to say I already said my piece, but feel free to start making a line up to the microphones as we speak. Again, thank you for coming out to support this film. I appreciate each and every one of you. The website is www.manupthedocumentary.com. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor. Let's do what we can.
Thank you very much. Over the years, in the city of Newark, we've been working with young fathers. About 20 some odd years ago, in the city of Newark, there was one father's program existing. Over the years, it developed. And seeing a number of fatherhood programs develop in the city has been a wonderful thing. I applaud LaVar for a wonderful job that he's doing here in the city of Newark, a number of other fathers programs. And I think because in our nation, not only in the city of Newark, but across the country, that we are in crisis at this present time towards males, especially African-American males. And I think that we need a movement that's going to move across from city to city, nation to nation, and to really impact communities. And I'm excited about seeing the numbers of people here right now, but the reality of it is that we provide a level of solution to the nation and community. And I'm excited about this dialogue, and I'm looking forward to even continue our solutions as we go.
Yeah, I would...
You can keep that because you might...
Yeah, I think I might. Can everybody hear me? Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, what he said. I completely agree. I'm amazed. I've been doing this sort of a long time. Me, Thabiti, Boone, Alicia Crow, Tonia, my wife. We've been involved in what has sort of been called a movement to reconnect fathers with families, to reconnect fathers with mothers, children with their fathers and with their mothers a lot of times for a long time. When we first started doing this work, about 15, 16 years ago, there would be 3 people in a room like this. And I'm looking at this room right now just in amazement when I look at the work of Tonia and what she just did. It's absolutely amazing. But I'm going to turn my mic on. All right. Amazed at where we are, but like one of the young brothers said in the film, that we have to go from analysis to implementation. We know what the problem is. We know that our fathers have been disconnected from not only families, but communities. We also know, and this is another piece we're going to have to get to perhaps in another documentary, sometimes mom is the gatekeeper too. and we have to deal with that piece as well. So all of these things, I think, are a work in progress. I think everybody needs to be applauded that we've been able to get where we've gotten now.
I would just piggyback on what the gentleman just said. You know, for years, we always think that fathers being absent from the home is as simple as him and mom didn't get along, so he left. But it's much more complicated than that simple analogy. It's really a problem. It's an epidemic throughout our country. I can't tell you the number of fathers that I meet on a day-to-day basis that simply don't have a positive connection with their children. And it's something personally that I correlate directly to a lot of the issues, social issues that we have today, not only in Newark and Essex County, but all over our country. And just watching the movie and seeing the young people describe how they feel, now that I'm a little bit older, those feelings have been suppressed in me for years. But that pain is still there. You know, it hurts. It hurts to know that you have a father, but not know why he's not there, why he doesn't play a day-to-day role in your life. So I'm happy that Tonia really brought this subject to the forefront, because it's definitely something that needs to be addressed. That's what we try to do here, and through the Young Fathers Program, and through Fathers Now, and Fellas Program, and all the other great programs that we have coming up with that are dedicated to men.
Yes, it was a fantastic documentary. I think it was right on time, and it brought about a lot of awareness. And I was invited to the forum by my daughter and a friend of hers, because I was on my way from school, because I'm a student at Rutgers. And I remember the young guy, LaVar. He came, he spoke to our class at Criminal Justice, Professor Chowdhury, with the other young guy he was with, and I was so fascinated by the young guy's overall story about his life, and the fact that I have a 26-year-old daughter who also had those problems with not having a dad around, and I tried to do the best that I could to make sure that she had all that she needed. But as time went on, I realized that a woman cannot play the part of a man. But I realized that when you don't have a father figure around it, it distorts looking for a mate for yourself. So she's having a problem with that. But through the grace of God, like you speak upon a lot, God can be everything to you. And it's just so fascinating to see men step up to the plate. So I mean, you black men, we need you in the home. Come back. Yeah. We want you.
Well, first I would like to say thank you to everybody up on the panel that's doing something to address this problem, fatherless homes in our community. I don't really have a question, I just wanted to make a comment. Myself, I've grown up in a fatherless home, and Mr. Dixon here, I was part of this program, the Young Fathers Program, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you for everything that you've done. To the young people here, I just want to say that it's an individual choice. Me growing up without a father, I think that was the best teaching for me to be the best father that I could, because he was the best example of what not to be. So it's an individual choice. You have to decide. You can either use it as an excuse, or you can use it as an example, or use it as a reason. I use it as a reason to be the best father that I can be. He was the best example that I didn't want, but I probably needed, because I probably wouldn't have been the father that I am today. I probably would have been, if he would have been around, I would have been the father that he was, and he wasn't a good father. He was there for me to look at a man for strength, but for guidance, he wasn't there. But now I guide my children, and I do that because of the things that he didn't do. But I understood in my heart that I did need that. So when I had children, I made sure that they had that. So it's an individual choice. It's what you want to make of it. Don't use it as an excuse. Use it as motivation. Thank you.
Basically, the comments that you guys just said was the exact reason why I came up here. I just wanted to thank you, Ms. Gans, for pointing out the things that you did, providing the balance. Me having, I'm serious, it's so awesome and so terrible in how the unbalance is being portrayed out there. I have been married, I have 4 children, I've been divorced, but I also made a promise to my children that I would never leave them hanging, and I never did. And they know it to this day, that I will never leave them hanging. I have not gone back on my word, and yet I have never experienced the system in the way I have had since that divorce. And yet and still, they still hammer us down and portray us in the media, especially African-American males, okay? But you pointed out a balance out there that's very seldom told, and I just wanted to say thank you.
Hi, my name is Elijah, and I'm a student from North Star Academy. And I would just like to ask, how are you going to get fathers to, like, represent their children?
Did we hear the question? Can you repeat the question?
I would just like to know, like, how are you going to help fathers represent their children?
How are we going to help fathers represent their children?
I think through a number of things, which we're doing through comprehensive fatherhood program, fellows program. I think some of the things that we're doing. I think one of the greatest components that we offer and provide through our programs is the counseling piece. I think sometimes we don't create opportunity to let fathers talk about some of the issues that they're dealing with. So creating an open type of forum or relationship that we build with these guys, so we help them in terms of dealing with some of their other issues, so then that they can then go and support and provide support to their family. That's one of the things that we do. And I'm going to say this to you, one of the greatest things that has happened to us at many of our programs, when many of these young men come into our doors, one of the first things they ask is, or say, I need a job. The economic issue is the most powerful issue that these guys, the issue of these guys having money to support their children. Then somebody else may say, it's not all about money, it's about attitude, which LaVar said, that you have to have an attitude to do that. But I think that many men need to talk and get support to then help them to move forward and then work with their children. And I hope I answered that question.
Thank you, young brother.
Thank you.
When is the government at the highest level going to take this as a serious issue? So we've talked about the importance of having programs for fathers, but yet it's always attached to dollar signs and budgets. We have a veteran administration. We need to have a father administration. We need to have programs that are equitable and fair and programs that would accommodate fatherhood. So I think those are some of the things and changes that we need to have in place so that fathers can overcome many of the challenges that they face on a daily basis.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I think, with the Obama administration, we're seeing much more attention put on or focus put on fatherhood as a whole. The courts, a lot of laws have to be amended or modified to work in favor of family, not just fathers, not just mothers, but families as a whole. Many of the fathers that we work with at Fathers Now had every intention on doing what they needed to do until the courts got involved. And the courts can cause a nasty, emotional feeling. Like the gentleman mentioned, he brought home 1 cent. I see that almost every day. I had a guy in my office a couple of weeks ago. He was crying. He brought home $80. He just got out of prison, been out of prison 2 months working, made fairly good money, but because of his child support and because of being in prison for a number of years and building up the arrears, he came home with $80. So, I'm all for paying child support. No one wants to forgive fathers of their obligation, but let's give this
this gentleman an opportunity to get on his feet too. Let's work with him as well. So I think a lot of our laws have to be changed. I'm happy that President Obama's administration is focusing on fatherhood. There's a National Fatherhood Council trying to figure out best practices and trying to figure out ways that we can modify different laws that currently govern the family structure. But one thing we have to remember is the state makes billions of dollars off of child support fees. They aren't doing it out of kindness or their heart. They're doing it because it produces income. So as long as it produces income for government as a whole, then we're going to have it. But there has to be some fairness where we can modify it and make it fair for fathers as well as mothers to have a decent opportunity to help raise a child as a family, a cohesive unit.
My name is Javon. I'm a sophomore at North Star Academy. At first, I'd like to commend your movie. It was very profound and eye-opening. For me personally, I had my father. He was killed before I was born. So my question is, how do I go about developing a good sense of how to be a father when it comes for me?
Powerful question. The question, you want to repeat the question?
My question was, well, for me personally, my father died before I was born. So how do I go about developing a good sense of being a good father figure when it comes to me?
Do you have a mentor, someone older that kind of guides you or helps you out?
Yeah, I have a couple of them.
Okay, so I would spend and soak up as much time and energy from someone that you respect and someone that you look up to, and just kind of model yourself after that individual. Like when I was younger, my father wasn't there, and I had a mother, and like the lady said before, mothers are great, but mothers don't know everything about being a man. So for me, I had older cousins, I had an older uncle that I kind of I soaked up with. Every move they made, I was with them. So that kind of helped me. And as you mature and as you grow into manhood, you'll start to know what paths and what moves to make.
Let me chime in also. I think historically we've seen the faith-based institutions. What a great place. Men like Dr. King, Malcolm X. What great role models that we see historically. The faith-based community is a very important place. Or, if not the faith-based, you have certain programs in the community. We talked about father programs, mentorship programs, which you alluded to. But you have a few people in your life now, I think they are part of the solution. And I can't put enough emphasis on the faith-based community because two of the young ladies, or two or three of them, make mention of their faith that helps them get through their situation. We can't emphasize that enough. Let's even consider faith-based institutions. And people have a lot of different concerns and issues about faith-based, but there are some real good quality people throughout the community, whether in school, faith-based institutions, but I just put that emphasis on faith-based because I like the moral composition that comes through, which you alluded to so much, and thanking God, and through your faith, she is able to do this. And so it is that those institutions and people around you who are great role models can help you get to where you need to go.
My name is Alpha Kaba, and I'm from North Star Academy.
Go ahead.
And I'm in 6th grade. I like the movie because it shows how being it is without a father. Because I have a father and my parents are still married. But I wanted to go off what you said on the quote because one day I was in my principal's office and I saw this bumper sticker with Mahatma Gandhi on it, and it said, "You must be the change that you see in the world." And if you don't want to be without a father, if you don't have a father right now, you must not, if you have a child, be a good father for him because he doesn't want to go through what you felt.
Excellent.
My name is Altariq Best of FP Valcry. First, I want to say thank you, all you guys, give yourself a round of applause, first of all, because the movie is excellent. I actually had the privilege of speaking to the fatherhood program, and after that, I work every day with youth. I have a concentration on youth and graduate to the families, but trust me, after speaking with the fatherhood program, it kind of gave me more to fight, because I'm a father of 4. And I'm an adult right now, and it just took me a couple of years ago where I was able to face my father, who wasn't there, you know. So, you know, I try my best to be the example that, you know, like the police officer said, you know, I'm going to do everything in my power to do what my father didn't do, you know. So with that, I'm going to say Martin Luther King said, the measures of a man is not determined, and you got to understand, it's not determined in comfortability. It's when things get hard, the adversity that you go through that shows the measures of a man. So stand up, man up, be who you want your sons to be or your children to be. Do not, you got to step up, because I do it every day, and I know if I can do it with the feelings that I have, I still need help. You know, I still need emotional healing. My wife talks to me all the time like he was the best father that he could be. So guess what? I'm going to be the best father that I can be. My oldest son just turned 18, and till this day he still say, oh, that's daddy's dad. Not grandpa, that's daddy's dad. You know, he don't know him. You know, and it still hurts me till this day that you can't even step up to be a grandfather. I don't ask you to be a father to me. Don't be a father to me, be a grandfather. You know, show them something. So I applaud you guys, and keep doing the work you can. The question I ask for you guys is, as FPU Style Crowd, what can we do more to help you guys? Because it's needed. What can we do?
I think keep doing what you're doing. Keep being a good father. Keep spreading the word. Keep talking positively and influencing these young boys right now, because I don't care what anybody says. We are making a difference, because they didn't know about this subject before. They know about it now. So when they get older, they are conscious. They will know that they have to be good role models, good fathers. So we're planting a seed. So I think that's how we start. And I think that this film and this panel is a way to kind of get the ball rolling. So congratulate yourself.
Applaud you guys.
Thank you.
First off, I want to say thank you to everyone up on the stage for being active on this topic. I had to do a research paper in school, and I decided to do it on this topic. And a friend of mine told me about this documentary, so I thought I'd get some information from here. And I got great information from the film, so I want to thank you, sister, for making the film. As someone who had a stepfather in the home but didn't have my real father, my stepfather provided for me, but he couldn't give me the emotional attachment that my real father gave me, or could have gave me. He was out there, you know, doing his thing. Drugs got to him, and prison and things of that nature. But to this day, I'm 29 years old. It's been 29. He hasn't been in my life since I was born. I would welcome him in. And I want to say to everybody out there who don't have a father, never close them out when they want to come in. That's right. You know, because there's so many people. I have a cousin, and I understand his hurt and pain, but you know, he's my cousin, and my uncle is his father, and it's like he doesn't want to talk to me, you know. And I said, if my father was there and he wanted to talk to me, I would welcome him in a minute and in a second. You know, there would be no questions. So always have an open heart, because remember that they're human too, and this is a cold, cold world, and they've been through some things too that led them to that point to being to not being there for you. So always have an open heart. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
I'd like to ask you one question. The word father, what does it mean to you?
It means many things. It means provider, it means protector, it means confidant, it means everything. You know, I mean, it depends on the individual, but for me it means many words. It means a lot.
So in your first step, the first step is education. And many of us, as a father, don't know what that word means. The word father, if you were to break it down further, we have to be able to further our children in knowledge. And we don't have that at all. So that's why we end up in the position that we are in nowadays, doing the wrong thing. One more thing I'd like to say. I was about 7 years old. Today's my birthday. I'm 44 years of age. And I went to my father, a child. I've never met my father. I said, Daddy. He looked at me and he told me, don't call me that. called me by Maurice, his first name. That burden lasted all my life till about this year. I went to my father and told him what that did to me as a child. I'm looking for a father, not a brother. So I'm telling all the men inside here, man and woman, don't let your children call you by your first name. That's why we are mothers and fathers. Don't make that some mistake, because that destroyed me as a man. Thank you very much.
My foster mother is now a single parent, and I know what it's like not having a father figure there for you or a dad there to say, oh, nice job, sweetheart. So this film really touched me because I know there's other kids out there that's just like me.
Well, my name is Tatiana, and I'm 14 years old, and ever since I was a baby, I lost my parents. This program really got to me because I never knew who my mother or my father was. I was basically depending on someone else to make me know what a mother and a father was. I basically was in a foster care ever since I was a baby, and I would really love to know who my mother or my father was, but I don't really know if that's possible. I recently, my mother, she had a boyfriend, and I've been with her for 6 years, going on 7. She's made me know what a mother figure was. Her boyfriend made me know what a father figure was, but at least recently I lost him. And that really devastated me because now I don't know who a father is. And I'm really depending on her, and she's really strong. She's making me to be a strong, independent young woman to make me better and know what it's like. And I'd really like to thank her, and I'd like to thank the people for this program because they just basically go to show that kids really live without fathers and they need people out there to help them.
Great documentary. Great documentary.
Good.